9B is probability. So I can do 9B first before I do the real world application, and then we all die. 9B, the table shows the languages studied by a group of 30 students. One of the students who studies French is chosen at random. Find the probability that this student also studies Spanish. A lot of students struggle with this. One of the students who studies French is chosen. What does this mean? Jada, what is my denominator here? One of the students who studies French is chosen. What is the denominator? It is not 30. It is 15. Because you are choosing from where? You are only choosing from here. This is what they mean by a student who studies French is chosen. That means I choose from the French side only. Okay, so my denominator is 15, not 30. So find the probability that this student also studies Spanish. It is the intersection here, right? So it's this. And therefore P, French plus Spanish is 8 out of 15. So the mistake that many students make is they give me things like 8 out of 30. Wrong. Because I say who studies French. That means I'm only choosing from among the students who study French. There are only 15 of them. So your interpretation of the question here must be correct. Two of the students who study Spanish are chosen at random. Again, same idea, right? Study Spanish is what? Don't read wrongly. Study Spanish is not 15. Study Spanish is now reading the table sideways. So the question also testing you whether your interpretation, you know how to interpret tables or not. So study Spanish is 20. That's your denominator. Find the probability that both students study Spanish but not French. So study Spanish is 20, but not French. Both of them is 12, right? So P, Spanish, not French. Sorry, both Spanish, not French is, not French is 12, right? So 12 out of 20 for your first student. Your second student is 11 out of 19. Then my question here is need to times 2 or not? Factory need to times 2 or not? Are there two possible cases? Yes or no? Do I need to times 2? So this is the part that students also get confused by. If you are not sure, right, you think about it this way lah. This is study Spanish but not French, right? What is the probability that both study Spanish and French? It's 8 out of 20, right? It's 8 out of 20 times 7 out of 19. So if I take 1 whole minus 8 out of 20 times 7 out of 19. So you can always check your probability two ways. Right? This is 81 out of 95 if I do it by subtraction. Oops. 12 out of 20 times 11 out of 19. Okay. So you always have to times 2 here, because there are always two possible scenarios where if this is student A, this is student B, there is also the probability that you can flip them around and say that the first student is student B and this is student A. That's the reason why you would times 2. And you should recognize that if I don't times 2, right, your alternative scenarios will always require you to times 2 anyway. Okay? What does this give me? 20 of black. Questions like that can always do by subtraction, if that is the method that you prefer. If you think that that is less confusing. Normally, up to you which one you prefer. 3 students are chosen at random from the whole group. Different denominator, whole group is 30. Find the probability that only one studies Spanish. This one confirm will always have 3 scenarios, because it can be the first student, it can be the second student, it can be the third student. So you always need to times 3 possible scenarios. We are only interested in what? Study Spanish versus not Spanish, right? So study Spanish got how many people? 20. Not Spanish got how many people? 10. So the P only 1 Spanish will be equal to 20 out of 30, right? Times the other 2 will not be Spanish, so 10 out of 29 times 9 out of 28. And then here, confirm always need to times 3, because the student who study Spanish A. So 20 out of 30 times 10 out of 29 times 9 out of 28 times 3 to give me 45 out of 203. This one, don't ever get confused. There will always be 3 possible scenarios, because the student who studies Spanish can have Christian. The only one that is a little bit complicated is when you have to put 2 of them together, they are the same.